All right. Been busy and everything like that. So a lot of the my stories that you guys find funny, I'm just decided to put it on the Lou Comedy, so it's easier just to find it. I'll probably put it on a separate channel as well. And then I'll retell all the other stories. I'll create a separate channel for that. But anyway, let me just tell you something. I was just talking to my brother. I had like about like a laughter that wouldn't stop just because. Okay, last night I was telling the story. I fought a midget when I was younger, but he was a grown man, so it wasn't like he was a kid. So like it was totally different. But that's a side story. But I started talking about that story and was fucking having a laugh, whatever. It was ridiculous. But today, my brother reminded me of the time that Benny, remember the 1-800 party lines, whatever? Like, remember in the old days, like before social media? Like, you used to get like on a group chat call, and there will be other people out there, whatever. So Benny one day screwing around, he got on one of these group chats, whatever, and he met this chick on this group chat. I don't know how that worked out, whatever. But nonetheless, he met this chick on the line. And this chick was like really into, oh my God, you sound so handsome, so attractive, the whole thing. And he's talking to her back and forth, and she lived in Chicago. We lived in New York, whatever. So they went back and forth. They exchanged numbers through code. Then they were no longer talking on the chat line. They were calling each other direct. It was pathetic. It was one of those things. But anyway, he was telling me she sounds hot. Or like it was like the whole thing, like my endless love. Anyway, back then there was like you couldn't like go to somebody's social media profile, have them email you a photo or live chat with them. So it was like one of those things. So she said, I'm gonna send you pictures. Back in the old days, that was Polaroids inside of an envelope. It was the funniest fucking thing in the world because Benny had to wait for the mail to come. So when the mail came over and he had the Polaroids of her, like for real, like, she sent photos of herself, the whole thing. Something suspect about that whole thing, but I didn't even, put my finger on it. The way the photos were, like you can see her, but you couldn't see her. It was like one of these weird, like, I don't know, but we're too young. Like, we're too young to know that world, whatever. So anyway, he one day, he's like, yo, she's coming to New York. He's like all happy. And I'm like, finally, we get to see this bitch, like for real. Because I got tired of this long distance type relationship stuff. So anyway, he made a date with her to meet at the Palladium. So I said, fuck it, I'll go to the club, whatever, no problem. So anyway, he knows what she looks like. And she's like, find me, I'll be there, that type of stuff, okay? You couldn't text nobody like I'm here or whatever. That was before this stuff. So anyway, so I go to the club too, whatever. So I'm in the club there and I'm hanging out, and I have my own drama that night. I saw this chick on the dance floor and I'm getting closer to her and, giving her the eye, waving at her. But then there was this fat chick next to her and she thought like I was doing it to her, and she was like giving me the eye and waving back to me. And I was like trying to go like that to the fat chick. But the one I was interested, she was like what? I'm like, I'm just trying to be smooth. And this fat chick is like, I'm here. I'm like, as I'm getting closer, the fat chick is getting closer and closer. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? The music is going on. I'm like, I just want this one. I hope this one isn't friends with that one. Anyway, long story short, I'll tell you that another night. But anyway, so Benny's there and he's got the photo, the Polaroid, and the club is dark. And he's looking for her. He's looking for her. And he can't find her. But it's not like, you can just call. It's before cell phones. So by now I'm already pissed because I fought the fat chick and I'm already drunk at the bar. And I go, Benny, let me look at these fucking photos. And I start looking at these photos, and like when you're drunk, you have special abilities. Like you could solve cold cases. Like you can. So I laid them all out and I'm looking at it. And by then I'm already hanging out with a bunch of people at the bar, and I got my army crew like just mass. And I'm like, all right, everybody, take a photo and span out. We're going to find this bitch. It was the funniest thing ever. I had a search party for this fucking chick. So we all went out. About 30, 40 minutes later, they all come back. And they're fucking dying laughing. they're in tears. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, yo, you gotta see this. And I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, they're taking me and they're taking Benny over, and I'm completely drunk. You know what I drink anyway. So I'm like drunk. So anyway, we're going towards the dance floor. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? No joke. Look at the dance floor. I see a woman who's like a midget. And she's like dancing, get into the groove. And I'm like, looking at the photo, looking at her. And the people I'm with were just dying laughing. I'm like, Benny, man, I think that's the midget right there. Yeah, it can't be. Benny being such an ogre. He thought he was gonna meet the love of his life. He looks at the photo, he goes into the dance floor. This woman, he picks her up into the light. His motherfucker would have been in prison now. He just picks her up into the light. He looks, he goes, you lied to me, you're a midget. And she's like, Benito, no, I'm just short. When she said she's just short, I think I had my first heart attack. Like I fell on the ground. I couldn't stop laughing. It was the funniest thing in the world. She's like, I'm just short. I'm like, no, bitch, you're a midget. Like, it was funny because she took like she had somebody take the photos. Like, you couldn't really see like her feet and stuff like that, because that's how you could tell, because of the little shoes and stuff like that. They always have the ones that have a couple more inches on it, just like the guy that fought a midget dude. He had the same thing. But anyway, it was funny because now we're back at the bar laughing with her, but Benny's there is disappointed. And she's like, but I just wanted to meet you and hang out with you. I'm going to grow. When she said I'm going to grow, I had the second heart attack. I couldn't. Like this little chick she was adorable, but she had me fucking going. I couldn't breathe. Between the fact that she said I'm short and then she's still growing, I'm like, bitch, you're 25. You ain't gonna grow no more. I couldn't. My heart couldn't. But anyway, by the end of the night, we all became friends and the whole thing like that. We had the midget sitting on the bar. It was the best night ever. But the best night, when I went home and I had to retell the story to Frank, I was like, no, listen, she was a midget, Frank. She was like little, like the ones that like, oh, to see the Wizards of Oz, like that. It was a fucking scream. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that hilarious night. I'll tell you about the midget fight if you want, because at the end of the day, it was kind of scary. But he was like, yeah, he was like one of those kind of midgets. But back in the days, let me tell you something. It was on Faith, and you take a Polaroid photo. Let me tell you something. When I saw her on the dance, forget about the midget. That fat chick, let me tell you something. She punched me in my chest because I kept getting closer and closer and closer. When I finally got close to, my querida, all of a sudden, she was so fucking pissed. She was waiting for her Latino lover to come over. And when she saw me go to the other one, she just punched me in the chest. So me and her got into a brawl. Like, I caught her in, like, a side headlock with the arm extended over. I was like telling her, stop. But I'm going to tell you something funny, though. When she started to move, I said, oh, shit, this bitch is stronger than me. I was holding on for dear life. You know, when the veins start coming out, I was like, that one drop, you know you're afraid. Terrified for your life, and that one drop of sweat that's going down. Yo, fuck dating. Oh my God, midgets, everything. Fat chicks. Listen to that. I'm going to tell you something about fat chicks in club. I'm going to tell you right now. They always stay at the dark side of the club, and they always wear black. And when spandex was invented, that's it. They hit the clubs. Anyway, giant love. I'll be back. It's fucked up.